Hi, I'm Professor Silver, and today I'll break down the history of Mimey, detailing his transformation from a major bother into a beloved member of Ash's family. Mimey debuted in the Kanto episode, It's Mr. Mime Time. Unlike other Pokemon, Mimey was unique in that he could use his psychic powers to make invisible walls. Ash initially wanted to catch Mimey, but a ringmaster named Stella convinced him to let her catch the Pokemon instead. Stella intended for Mimey to make her circus's Mr. Mime jealous, and also motivated to perform again. However, Mimey escaped before she could catch him. Without Mimey, Ash had to dress up as a Mr. Mime to carry out the plan instead. During this ruse, Team Rocket kidnapped Ash, mistaking him for a Pokemon. In Ash's absence, Mimey wandered into his mom's home. Delia Ketchum mistook Mimey for Ash and spoiled him like her own son. Mimey reveled in her motherly affection, loving her cooking and warmth. Within minutes, the barrier Pokemon became a mama's boy. He also became obsessive and possessive. When Ash escaped from Team Rocket and returned home, he found that Mimey only listened to Delia. Consequently, when Team Rocket attacked Stella's circus, Mimey initially refused to help. He only sprang into action after Delia promised him dessert. Whilst confronting Team Rocket, Mimey displayed legendary level power by blocking their tank using his barrier abilities. His strength motivated Stella's Mr. Mime to assist as well. Together, the Mimes were unstoppable. They beat Team Rocket by building a nearly indestructible tower. After the crisis concluded, Mimey earned his nickname from Delia and accepted her offer to be her permanent companion. From that day onward, he was her most loyal helper. Although we never saw Mimey get caught on screen, it's revealed in Journeys that Ash caught him after the episode concluded. Rather than add Mimey to his team, Ash gave him to his mom so she wouldn't be lonely. For Mimey, life with Delia was a dream come true. Starting in the showdown at the Poke Corral, he became like her second son. While Ash trained for the Indigo League, Mimey vacuumed, picked vegetables, and swept the floors. Before the league began, he could be seen sweeping in the Evolution Solution, Make Room for Gloom, and Go West Young Meowth. Despite sometimes driving Ash crazy, Mimey seemed to like him at his core. If not for Mimey envying Ash's relationship with his mom, they likely would have started off as great friends. Mimey hinted at their potential for friendship when he wished Ash well in Bad to the Bone and cheered for him in Round 1 Began. In the Orange Islands, Mimey revealed that it wasn't just Ash who gave him trouble, but rather anyone that tried to steal Delia's affection. Brock learned this the hard way in a tense situation and the rivalry revival after he moved in with Delia and started competing with Mimey for chores. Mimey hated to share Delia, but when he wasn't fighting for her affection, he was downright affable. After welcoming Ash home, he used Light Screen to help save Pikachu from Team Rocket and prevent the trio from trampling Delia's garden. As shown in Pokemon 2000, for all his power, Mimey seemed to be more comfortable doing chores than battling. As a result, he didn't join Ash and Johto. Had Mimey gone to Johto, Ash might have won the league. Between Mimey's barriers, Charizard's firepower, and Snorlax's raw strength, Ash would have steamrolled the competition. Alas, instead of battling at the Johto League, Mimey hung out with Delia and did odd jobs around the house. He swept the floor in Spell the Unknown, helped Oak in Bulbasaur the Ambassador, fed Delia in A Claim to Fame, watched Ash battle in Love Pokemon style, did housework in Johto Photo Finish, and bid Ash farewell in Gotta Catch You Later. Similarly, in the Hoenn and Battle Frontier sagas, Mimey was relegated to cameos. He watched Ash battle in Shocks and Bonds, welcomed him home in the Scheme Team, greeted him in the right place in the right mind, and surprised him in Home is Where the Start Is. Surprisingly, it was in Chronicles that Mimey finally battled again. During the showdown at the Oak Corral, he blocked attacks from Cassidy's Houndour and Butch's Hitmontop, and revealed his knowledge of Double Slap. Trouncing Team Rocket wasn't exactly league-level work, but it highlighted how his unique abilities would have made him a versatile fighter on Ash's team. Later on in Chronicles, in the episode Journey to the Starting Line, Mimey showed how his usage of Psychic could have offered great utility support in Ash's adventures. Using the move, he saved a lost Charmander that had wandered off from Oak's lab. Mimey missed out on the Diamond and Pearl saga, but was one of Ash's only reserves to appear in Black and White. In the episode Dream Continues, he showed genuine excitement to reunite with Ash and Pikachu. The reunion confirmed that Mimey had come to love Ash like a brother, despite their initial initial hostility. It also emphasized how Mimey's personality had softened since he first appeared. Starting in the Sun and Moon saga, Mimey started to have an actual impact on the series. His winning tickets to Alola is what led Ash to the region. During the saga, Mimey traveled to Alola in Alola to New Adventure, visited Ash in Alolan Open House, welcomed Ash to Oak's Lab in Alola Kanto, watched Ash perform in Lilier in the staff, and cheered for Ash throughout the Alola League. At the start of Pokemon Journeys, in Legends Go, Friends Go, Mimey moved to Cerise's lab at Delia's request so as to look after Ash. In doing so, he finally became a main character. Although he wasn't featured as prominently as Ash's other Pokemon, his presence was still notable. As an aside, it's likely that Mimey was included in the series so as to offer corporate synergy with its awesome portrayal in Detective Pikachu. Regardless of why Mimey was included, as a member of Cerise's research team, he provided support to the professor and his colleagues by cleaning the lab. In Ivysaur's mysterious tower, he revealed that by pantomiming, he could simulate household appliances for cleaning and food for eating. His pantomiming skills came in handy in episodes like Kicking It From Here Into Tomorrow, Gotta Catch a What, and Crowning the Chow Crusher. As shown in Settling the Score Bunny, only Mimey himself could manipulate his creations. When not cleaning, Mimey also helped out around the lab by using sign language to communicate his thoughts and feelings. Through hand-driven gestures, he told Ash where Piplup was swimming in the Sinnoh Iceberg race, and squealed on Gengar in a chilling curse. Mimey sometimes returned to his mischievous ways by displaying a creepy face, but he truly did whatever he could to help out at the lab. In addition to cleaning and using sign language, he provided support to Ash and Go by inspiring their anti-crying goggles in Sobbing Sobble and humbling Grookey in When a House is Not a Home. To help the lab as a whole, Mimey also appeared in rocket-themed parodies and taught Kung Fu. During a martial arts session, in Serving Up the Flute Cup, Mimey revealed himself to be a master of balance. Likely because of his skills and the fact that Ash had no other Pokemon besides Pikachu at the time, Mimey was enlisted to fight in the Hoenn Battle Frontier Flute Cup. All in all, the tournament offered an awesome glimpse into what could have been had Mimey joined Ash's team at the Johto League. During the competition finals, Mimey absolutely clobbered competitor Hodge's Hariyama. At the battle's start, Mimey dodged every Force Palm that came his way, landed Focus Punch, and blocked Arm Thrust. In the end, Mimey immobilized Hariyama with Reflect and won with Psychic. Rather than continue battling, however, Mimey refused to fight Hodge's Mightyena. It's possible he didn't want to fight a Dark type, but laziness is equally likely. In spite of that, the battle showcased how Mimey's Psychic Fairy typing would have made him one of Ash's best fighters had he actually been utilized. Unfortunately, he didn't fight in any of Ash's other battles during the World Coronation series. Instead of fighting, Mimey contributed to Ash's team by mentoring Riolu. During Panic in the Park and Toughing It Out, Mimey helped Riolu strengthen his Vacuum Wave. It was further revealed during the Masters 8 that Mimey considered Lucario his protege. Besides training the Aura Pokemon, Mimey also bolstered Ash's ranks by helping Pikachu overcome his jealousy towards Riolu. In Betrayed, Bothered, and Beleaguered, Mimey watched after Pikachu when the electric mouse ran away from Ash and sought out Delia for comfort. Mimey was a perfect gentleman all throughout the episode, never once wavering in his willingness to protect Pikachu. The episode represented Pikachu at his most depressed, so the fact that Mimey saw him through those dark times speaks volumes to his character. For reference, Mimey chased Pikachu when Ash was none the wiser to their schism, saved the Pokemon from drowning, and even helped him learn how to hitchhike. Even though Mimey wasn't as successful as Pikachu in attracting hitchhikers, the fact that he tried spoke to how much less selfish he had become since his debut. When he first appeared, Mimey wouldn't help anyone except himself and Delia. As the episode progressed, Mimey further proved his emotional growth by carrying Pikachu when he was tired and getting him food when he was hungry. When his efforts aroused the ire of Wild Spearow, Pikachu was reminded of how he first bonded with Ash. After Pikachu recreated his fight with Spearow by leaping from Mimey's shoulder, the two of them finally arrived at Delia's house. Fortunately, Ash was there to apologize. At the end of the day, the reconciliation was only possible due to Mimey's intervention. One of the big takeaways I had from the episode was that it proved Mimey had learned to put the feelings of others before his own. Even when Delia cuddled Pikachu, Mimey didn't get jealous. All he felt was pity for his downtrodden friend. Rather than be a jealous jerk, he had evolved into a caring brother. As Journeys reached its end, Mimey affirmed his love for Ash and Pikachu by cheering for them at the Masters 8 and providing spiritual support during the battle with Leon. That Mimey appeared during Pikachu's vision in Partners in Time suggests that he can be considered one of Ash's many reserves. Ash may have caught Mimey for his mom, but as the episode confirmed, Mimey was as much his as he was hers. After the tournament concluded, Mimey celebrated Ash's win in Heroes Unite, returned to Oak's lab in This Could Be the Start of Something Big, and resumed his life as Delia's helper in The Road Most Traveled. For all his emotional growth, Mimey still showed a hint of jealousy towards Oak when the professor started talking to Delia. At series end, in The Rainbow and the Pokemon Master, Mimey made one last appearance so as to make ice cream, laugh at Ash's brain freeze, and sweep the floors one last time. As that concludes Mimey's history, let's get to his battle record. Mimey's one and only win was against Hodge's Hariyama. He incurred no losses or ties. Move-wise, Mimey used Barrier, Double Slap, Focus Punch, Light Screen, Reflect, and Psychic. I'll be honest, Mimey has one of the weirdest designs in the original generation. That said, I still think he's awesome. I love his ability to generate force fields and pantomime objects. Furthermore, I absolutely adore that Journeys turned him from a simple sight gag into an emotionally well-rounded hero. His adventure with Pikachu has to be one of the most heartwarming episodes in not only the saga, but also the series. I really like how it showed how he had grown from a spoiled child into a mature adult whose care for others rivaled the affection that he once only reserved for Delia. Overall, Mimey's journey throughout the series highlighted how even the most minor of Pokemon could undergo a narrative transformation. My biggest complaint about Mimey is that we didn't get to see him battle more in Journeys. While I wouldn't change a thing about Ash's Masters 8 team, I think it would have been cool to see Mimey fight Leon's Mr. Rhyme. By beating Leon's Mr. Rhyme, Mimey would have affirmed himself as one of the anime's strongest non-legendary psychic types. And on that, class is adjourned. My name's Professor Silver. Until next time, catch you later.